All right, welcome to another interview episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. We'll fully introduce Rick in a minute here, but Rick, your business has some pretty impressive technology, and I'd like for you to just take a minute to describe when and how someone would experience the technology and what it does. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I think at the heart of what we do, SimplyNoted is a relationship building and engagement platform that allows our clients to engage their clients in a more personable way with almost a 100% guaranteed open and read rate. And the way that we do that is we have developed a technology that holds real pens and allows our users to send real, genuine, personalized, custom handwritten notes at scale. And I think that's the easiest way to explain it, but I'm happy to dive a lot more into detail.
Awesome. So like I would meet with, I don't know, I know that real estate is one of the industries. I would meet with a real estate agent. Maybe it's like a initial meeting, expressing, trying to figure out if I'm going to do business with them. And then, within a couple of days, however long the mail takes, suddenly I have this handwritten thank you note showing up saying, hey, it was wonderful meeting with you. I really look forward to being able to help you find the house of your dreams or to sell your house, get you the best price on your house, right?
That's exactly what we do. And we try to make it as easy as sending an email. And I think over the last 5 years, we've gotten pretty close to doing that.
Excellent. So Rick Elmore is an entrepreneur, sales and marketing expert. As the founder and CEO of SimplyNoted, he developed this proprietary technology we're talking about that puts real pen and ink, like he said, to paper to scale handwritten communication, which helps businesses in all industries scale this unique marketing platform to stand out from their competition and build this meaningful relationship with clients, customers, and employees. The company was founded in 2018 in Tempe, Arizona. It's grown into a thriving company with clients of various sizes across the country, including the hospitality business, real estate, insurance, nonprofit, franchise, B2B, and others. And he's served as the CEO since the founding and has over a decade of sales and marketing industry experience. That's a formal bio, right? Mm-hmm. Rick, I want to go through this whole process and get a feel of like, if I'm becoming a SimplyNoted customer, what that's like. But before we get into that, and like what it's like to actually just send these out at scale, right? But before we get into that, let's go back to talking about handwritten notes, right? They're the sales and marketing tool we know that we should do, but often we don't end up doing them. So why are they so powerful, and why should we prioritize sending handwritten notes?
Well, I think what you just said, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Handwritten notes are a great relationship building tool. It's something that businesses, was a no-brainer to do back in the 80s and 90s. And then what happens? The internet shows up and everybody, went digital, from the year basically 2000 to 2022. It was all about digital, email, cookies, social, anything that you can do online that can be tracked. That was, ads. That's what everybody was focusing on. And then what happened about 5 or 6 months ago, the release of AI, right? And then everybody's going crazy about AI. And what I really do think matters in business is relationships. And I think people are craving something that's a lot more personal because they just feel like they're inundated nonstop. Like I literally want to take my phone and just throw it because it literally never stops going off. And I think they're designed to do that, to capture your attention and keep you on it. But what people are lacking is that personal touch. Mailboxes are completely empty. Most people can't even remember the last time they received a handwritten note. So when something like that shows up in the mailbox, it's a pleasant surprise. And it's like, like you're interested to see what it is and you can't help not open it and read it. And that's what SimplyNoted is trying to do, is get back to the lost art of something that we all know we should be doing. And we're just trying to make it as easy as possible. And the way that we do that is through technology in a funny way. We use robots, we use software, we use APIs, we're using AI. But at the end, the user experience is super simple. But, the customer who receives it, if we're doing our job, they're going to feel like you sent it. We don't throw our logos or anything on it. The technology is amazing. And when you see this, you can't help but think it was really written by somebody. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've all gotten clearly fake handwritten direct mail, right? I get it fairly regularly, and it'll be printed on a page, and it's handwriting. It's a handwriting font, right? But it comes across as disingenuous, right? So
Yeah.
like, how does just briefly describe how your tech works and like why it's a better option to actually give me this feel of handwritten notes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know exactly. I get that question asked every single day. We all know, first off, when you receive like a printed, handwritten note in the mail, um, it can almost come off the wrong way. It's like you're trying to give off the impression that it was handwritten, but it wasn't. So it was like a lack of effort.
Yeah.
So it's like, why even put, the time just to send a fake handwritten note? Why even put that effort into it? The way that SimplyNoted operates, we actually use real pens that are weighted. Our technology has a downward forcing pressure. So when it actually writes, it's actually digging into the paper. We use real ink, so it actually smears those laser printed fake font, handwritten notes. If you licked it, they would not smear because they're laser printed. But since we use real pens, like the ink will actually smear. And then it goes so much deeper into that. Those basic font files that you're going to see in those cheap laser printed handwritten notes, there's
Yeah.
nothing built into it that makes it look real. They're actually called TTF or OTF files. They're just basic font files that were created for the internet 25 years ago. We've actually created our own handwriting engine, and like the way our machines write, there's algorithms that actually stretch each glyph. A glyph is a character within a handwriting style. We program all the kerning characteristics into the handwriting style. So what's the natural spacing between the letters? The ligature styles, how do your letters connect to each other? So there's a lot more customization into our technology because when you write naturally, it constantly varies, it constantly changes.
Yeah.
So we have taken that into consideration when building this technology. So there would be no patterns. And I mean, this is why we've had to build our own handwriting robots. There was no technology available on the market that allowed us to do this. And our customers wanted the most authentic product. And that's what we're trying to deliver them. So when you receive that printed handwritten note, it's a gimmick. We're not trying to build gimmicks here. We're trying to build authentic relationships that are going to help your business thrive. And the way that we do that is through our handwriting robots.
Yeah. Well, let me be a little bit of a devil's advocate as you use this term authentic, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
to some degree, like if it's scalable on one level, somebody can argue that it's not authentic, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I have these scalable thank you notes, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have, let's say I have an intro call with a potential client, right? And it's scalable. So
Yep.
how do you but on the other hand, like as a copywriter, I'll argue that if I get my intent into the original message, maybe it is authentic. It's authentic to the intent, even if a machine is writing the text, right?
Yeah.
So like, how do you grapple with that? How have your clients grappled with that? Like, yeah,
The authenticity.
yeah,
So the most authentic thing that you can do with somebody is sit down with them face to face, turn off your phone, and have that genuine, relationship conversation
yeah,
experience. Unfortunately, we can't do that anymore. I guess you can sit down and write handwritten notes, but how many companies out there don't even do that? They may have their assistant do it. They may hire someone to do it. This is something people have been having help writing handwritten notes for a long time. So I would say, if you really want that authentic experience, you're going to have to sit face to face with somebody. But
yeah,
what we're trying to do, these people are obviously wanting to put a lot more effort into this type of personal outreach versus doing an email blast, a text blast, sending a printed flyer, that printed, handwritten font, they can print 11,000
yeah.
of those an hour on a printing press. It takes us 3 to 5 minutes per handwritten note. So I
Oh,
do
wow.
know what you're saying. When I say print, they're written. I do know what you're
Yeah,
saying, but I think authenticity now is just about the engagement. How are you engaging those clients? Are you putting the extra effort, the extra
yeah,
thought? How are you making them feel, right? Perception is reality, right? So if
for
you
sure.
make them feel like you sent them that handwritten note, you're going to build upon that relationship versus the gimmick of sending a font handwritten note or sending a
Well,
flyer, an email, right? So I think what we're just trying to
and
do, I'm sorry.
oh, I I'm on your side with this. I think that so much of it is the intent and the thought of like thinking through, if this person experiences receiving a handwritten note, they're going to have this positive experience, right? And I'm trying to deliver this positive experience through SimplyNoted or through a super cramped hand, trying to crank these out at the end of the day and forgetting to do it or just not doing it because so many other things, like I have to go spend time with my kids or I have to have another phone call or whatever, right? Okay. So you've added another layer to this fairly recently, right? Where you since 2018, you've had these writing robots, right? They have the pen and it's weighted like a hand, so it's writing on the card. But now you're using AI to generate the thank you notes. So how does that work? And can you explain the tech behind that?
Well, I think the AI, the way that we're leveraging it into our platform is just helping people come up with ideas. A lot of the time writer's block is what prevents people from getting anything done. We work with a lot of direct response consultants for nonprofits and political parties. And I can't tell you how many times projects have gotten delayed for months because they just don't know what they're doing or what they want to say. So I think AI right now is really in the early stages of development. And the best way to use it is just to come up with ideas. So we're just trying to assist you with every part of this process and basically remove all the roadblocks, the barrier of entry of just getting started. From creating your card online, we have a tool from that, to what to come up to write with, setting up templates, to having somebody just scale it and do it for you. So I think SimplyNoted is just trying to become a tool that you can leverage within your marketing or outreach or sales, whatever type of MarTech platform, playbook that you have. We just want to be that tool within your tool belt to engage your clients in a more personal way. So AI is important. It's not the most important thing about what we do. I still think it really comes down to, the personalization and the genuineness of the handwriting and the technology and the product that you're sending them. But AI it's growing. I mean, it's going to become a huge part of what we do because we're a technology and software company that happens to use robots to send real handwritten notes.
Yeah, well, I do a ton of writing, and no matter what the final format that it's being delivered in, I notice myself more and more just popping into Chat GPT and like, help me brainstorm some ways to start this, right? Like, explain what I want. And so if it's I just met with this person and I need some good ideas for how to word a thank you note to this person. Boom, like that's
exactly what it's being used for right now. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. So that allows it to that allows you to ensure that your original intent of the note is carried through with that as well. Okay, so how have businesses and especially their clients responded to the use of these thank you notes so far, right? The thank you notes that are being sent out through SimplyNoted.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think how most businesses use us is, number one, they use us to retain current clients. It's a great relationship building tool. The easiest way that our clients use us is just to automate sending a thank you note. So based off of, them paying a bill or becoming a new client or filling out a form or requesting a quote, we can set up triggers from within your CRM or your software to automate sending that personalized handwritten notes. But also, it's a really great way to attract new clients just because that open rate is so high. The open rate with a handwritten note with a real physical stamp is 99.2%. And there's tons of studies out there that prove this. So, and then also, if you're thinking about it in terms of direct mail, we're 3 times more effective. And, when normal print mail is only about a 32 to 35% open rate. So I think just saying thank you and retaining your current clients is easy. Holidays, a lot of people use this for the holidays. I would say we do about 30% of our revenue just in November and December. But it's just a great engagement tool. And I think a lot of the times when we meet with our clients, we ask them, how are you engaging their clients? And they can't answer this, which is, that is a big problem. It's like, what are you doing to stay in front of your clients? Oh, we have a newsletter. Like, so does every company. And it usually stops there. So it's like, What are you doing to engage your clients? And this is just one way of doing it. You can do it socially, you can do it through email, you can do, call-a-thons and call your clients, but this is just one way to engage your clients in a personal way that there's not a lot of other ways to do it just like this.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and I want to underscore, like, as somebody with direct mail experience, having a 99 point, I don't know who the 0.8% are that don't actually open a hand addressed a card envelope. But having a 99.2% open rate, and if it's handwritten, people are going to read it. Like having that near 100% open and readership rate conquers one of the biggest challenges of direct mail and marketing in general. And I certainly see opportunities for folks like, for example, higher ticket offers, whatever the higher ticket offer is. I used to sell IT training solutions. This would have been great for that. Speak with somebody who's like a CIO of a company and send them a note afterwards saying, hey, it was great speaking with you about how we can meet your training needs, or like coaching offers, that sort of thing, where there's a higher ticket and you're having an initial conversation with these people. Like there's so much possibility if you just use a little creativity and say, like, how could I use this, right? Not can I, but how could I?
Yeah. And that's usually what happens is everybody uses it a little differently. But I think no matter what, the person that you send this to, you're going to stand out and rise to the top amongst the crowd of everybody else who's trying to get that person's attention. It doesn't matter if you're using it to attract a current client or you're just saying thank you. It's just a unique way that nobody else is doing right now that helps you win with your clients.
Yeah. Well, can you share any fun success stories of businesses that have been using AI generated or just the handwritten thank you notes in general?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are some important stats. Customers who feel appreciated are 5 times more likely to make repeat purchases. So just increasing that lifetime value of your client. Also, and we're all human, clients who feel appreciated are 5 times more likely to forgive mistakes. Like every business makes a mistake. Doesn't matter if it was a problem with the product or shipping delays or you missed an email. So just building that stronger relationship, you're going to increase the grace that you get from your clients. You're 4 times more likely to get a referral if you have great relationships with your clients. Think about what referrals can do for your business. That is free new clients versus what's your cost per acquisition on ads, right? What's your outbound budget? Just getting more referrals. And then also upselling, they're 7 times more likely to try something new. So, and this is all just around building great relationships. But, I've seen some really creative, like win back campaigns from some social or from e-commerce platforms where, they've made a mistake and they give them, a 30% off their next purchase. They see over a 300% success rate on win back campaigns versus email. So 300% more than email. Just because, it actually is felt, it gets open, it gets felt, versus that email may end up in like a promotions tab, right? That's automated. So I think there's a lot of really cool ways. We see our direct response, for fundraising campaigns, when they're getting donations for $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, that ROI is it's in the thousands and thousands of percent. So you got to think about your audience. You got to be really aware, who you're sending these to. In the direct response, it's usually higher ticket items. That's why it's nonprofit, political. We're just making an impression. A good impression on somebody can massively impact what they're going to do or what type of business they're going to do with you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. In a lot of cases, you're breaking even on acquiring customers, and having something like this on the back end to just thank someone and connect with them. It just makes the relationship that much better, that person's more likely to come back and spend more. And ultimately, looking at it through one, microscope, just be more profitable, right? Make each customer relationship more profitable.
Absolutely.
Sometimes this can feel a little bit intangible, right? Like send a thank you note. It's not necessarily going to, you're not necessarily like sending an offer in the thank you note. Some of them maybe, like the win back campaigns, that sort of thing. But how do clients typically measure success and effectiveness when using these notes?
Yeah, so our best customers just say thank you, the ones that have been using us for years, because they see their success come over time by a lower attrition rate, more referrals. It's the clients that we see who use us sparingly, if not like once or twice. It's the ones who are looking for like a massive ROI, like immediately. It's like, unless you have a really compelling call to action or you're solving a massively good problem, the direct mail, unless your client's worth tens of thousands of dollars, the best ROI is just building that relationship with your client, increasing their lifetime value, getting more referrals, getting better reviews, and just focusing on the relationship. We do have some people in like home service, like roofing companies and solar, just because those ticket items are so large. They're selling 20,000 to 100,000. And what they'll do, they'll get really strategic with their list. They're not just like, if you have a good list, and you have a client who needs your product, direct mail can work. It's just our cost per piece is a little higher than normal print mail. But what we try to do is, like, if you have if your commission's $150, like, don't use this. But if your commission's a few $1,000s on a product, this is going to be really good for attracting new clients. But I always recommend we try to consult. Just say thank you. We promise you, like, if you have the budget, just saying thank you is going to work 10 times more for your business in the long run. It's the young, starving companies that need to win within 10 days to pay their bills. We try not to do direct mail with them because it takes time. Anybody who's done direct mail knows it takes time. It takes repeating, mailings to try to hit them a few times to get them to create action.
Yeah, I am sure that there are certain contexts that you could use this, where, especially as part of a more sophisticated multi-touch marketing campaign, where you could make it super profitable on something fairly high ticket in the very short run. But again, like, that's very, like, getting very specific to a situation versus the long-term snowball effects of customer goodwill, client goodwill, and building that up through something that feels more personalized and feels more personal.
Yeah.
So, like, we've definitely talked about thank you notes. Are there any other ways that businesses are more proactively integrating these into their overall marketing and selling strategies? Like, can you give maybe more generic ideas from, like, the roofing and solar or other high ticket residential, or some other?
We see tons of real estate. I see that order come through every day. It's like, hi, we're interested in buying your house at this address. It's just, the real estate industry 2 years ago was insane. Right now, it's incredibly cooled off. Interest rates are a lot higher, but I think there's a way that any industry can leverage this. Doesn't matter if you're an electrician, doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent, doesn't matter, if you're just a PT, every business runs off relationships. Your clients have decisions to make, right? They have different options. That's when a lot of people go online and check reviews. I know we've won some really big accounts because people saw our reviews online. They're like, oh, we looked at you and some of your competitors, and we saw your reviews, and you had a lot of reviews, and they're good reviews, versus these people didn't have that many reviews and they weren't that good. And it's just like, so you really got to take a holistic approach to your engagement strategy with your clients. And like you said earlier, it's not just about handwritten notes. It can be multifaceted. Are you engaging them online? Are you putting a cookie or some type of way, or a pixel, on your website and retargeting them on social? So they're seeing you nonstop on their feeds, right? Are you putting out a really good newsletter where it's just not selling them? You're actually giving them value every time that you're sending out that email. The direct mail strategy. Are you sending out postcards? Are you sending out handwritten notes? It has to be a holistic 360, hit the whole entire system approach. And I can attest to this. We're a self-funded, no loans, no debt, no investors company. And the only way that we've been able to win is to use every tool at our disposal. We do tons of email, we do tons of social, we do tons of cold calling, we do tons of calling our clients at least once a quarter and telling them how much we appreciate them. Please let us know. Please, we beg them. If we can do anything better, let us know. And they feel that, and they feel it.
Yeah.
So it's all about how you're making them feel. So, and we send out our own handwritten notes, even though they know our technology is writing them. Like they'll literally still send us like text messages of like our card and say, "Thanks for the handwritten note, appreciate it." Like it's really funny. So, I think I'm not trying to sell anybody like on SimplyNoted. SimplyNoted is a platform that helps you integrate, automate, and scale. If you can send one or two by yourself from your desk at your home, I tell people, please do it yourself. It's better to do it yourself. It is more authentic, I guess, if you want to send one or two. But there are companies out there that want, consistency. They don't want to, they want to be efficient. They want to hit timelines. They want to trust that it's going to get done right. No spelling errors, no grammatical issues. And that's what we try to do, is become that programmer platform for them. And then you can enter it into a cadence, right? Day one, get an email. Within 3 days, receive a handwritten note. So now you're really hitting them with the multifaceted prong approach of being, authentic in every way. So, yeah, you got to take a holistic approach from every direction. And handwritten notes is just one way of doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's one of those things where when you hit people, like I was speaking to somebody recently, runs an agency, primarily does Facebook ads with clients, but he says as soon as you get into another media, everything becomes more profitable. Like their cost per acquisition on Facebook, he said on one campaign was like it dropped by like 2/3. As soon as they were engaging people on the different media. So the idea of thinking, okay, I'm going to do handwritten notes and they're going to be my thing and they're going to pay off. Yeah. Maybe, right? But if I'm going to do handwritten notes and I'm going to do remarketing on Facebook and I'm going to be delivering that company newsletter. Yeah.
No, if you have a crappy product, you have crappy customer service, you're not that good at what you do, like there's nothing out there that can save you. Like handwritten notes aren't going to save you. Emails aren't going to save you. At the end of the day, you got to be really good at what you do. You got to be great with your clients. You got to go above and beyond. You got to do the things that really matter, and that's be great at your business and be great at customer service. And all these other things are just support tools to support you and what you're already great at doing. So, like you just said too, like you can't give up on something. If I would have gave up on email just because email stopped working, it ebbs and flows, right? Handwritten notes, it ebbs and flows. Your direct outreach on social, it ebbs and flows. It's consistency. Like that's why most businesses fail, is because they're not consistent. They run into a hard year and they give up. I was just talking to my wife about this, is a lot of people don't make it past 2 or 3 years in their careers because they never get past that awkward stage. It goes from awkward to mechanical to confidence. So you go from the awkward stage in those first couple of years, and then you start getting into the mechanical. Okay, I know what I need to say, but it doesn't feel natural. And then you get into the confidence stage, right? You got to go through that in everything that you do. Doesn't matter if it's the first 2 years of email marketing, you're going to be really awkward at it. You don't know. You're just trying. You're going to see what works, what's not working. You're going to watch podcasts. You're going to watch videos. You're going to learn, and you're going to get mechanical. Then you're going to see what's working, improve, and then you become confident. It's going to change your business. So I think people just got to, take a different approach, a different look to things. There is no cure-all for anything.
The message is we're not going to do it perfectly coming out of the gates, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try, right? So are there let's actually come at this from the negative, but we could also hit the positive. Are there industries or sectors or markets where you notice that these are like less effective or not worth doing? And then on the other side, to some degree, I think that you've spoken to this already, but are there any criteria that you would use to say, oh yes, your business should definitely be doing this?
Let's
start with the negative.
Shouldn't be. I think if you're an industry that's not I think everybody should send a thank you note. Doesn't matter if you use us or somebody else or you do it yourself. I can't think of one industry that doesn't.
The only criteria that I could think of is like it's either expensive in terms of time or money. Like it's not. And so if you have like 99-cent margins per customer or something, which hopefully you would get in a different business or come up with some different offers. maybe then this isn't relevant. Like if you can't pay for the cost of the postage stamp and your dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But that business probably wouldn't be in it. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I can't think of anybody. I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years. You know, it's the people that contact me and are like, I'm going to test this and I want the best discount and I need a massive ROI. Those are the people that make me cringe. I'm like, you know, it's like, what are you
yeah.
testing? You know, it's like, you know, but then I see it and like, I see the message that they want to order. It's like they're desperately trying to sell somebody. I'm like, that won't work. That
Yeah.
won't work. You know, it's like they're just like Hail Marrying it on like 100 card order. And it's like, dude, like I don't even like working with those people because it's impossible to make those type of people happy, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's all about gratitude. Law of reciprocity, right? It's like you make
Yeah.
people feel special. Some people won't care, some people will, some people don't. It's the law of thirds, right? You know, a third of people are going to love you, a third of people are going to, doesn't really matter, and a third of people are going to hate you. I've learned that through coaching and I've learned that through business. As a coach, like a third of the parents just absolutely love you. They think you're the best. A third of them just don't even care. And a third of them you can't make happy. And it's the same here in running a business. I've been running my own business for 5 years. You can break your back for 100 clients. A third of them are going to be loyal. They're going to love you. They're going to appreciate everything. A third of them just are transactional, looking for a service. They don't give a crap. And then, a third of them you can't make happy. So we try to focus on the top two, the top
Yeah. Yeah.
66%, and
For sure.
not worry about the bottom third.
All right. All right. So I want to go back to the AI thing a little bit here. And so I love the way that you've integrated it so far. And when I've taught it, like so many people in my audience are copywriters or write for their businesses. And when I've taught AI writing, I say right now, treat it like a junior copywriter or like a copywriting assistant, right? Like you have to give it lots of good instruction. And then even then, you still have to be responsible for like editing to make sure that it gets to a good spot, right? Before you send it out. And that's kind of how you've integrated it here. Where do you see, like from the perspective of being deeply immersed in the handwritten notes, thank you notes, like where do you see it going in the future? Because to me, maybe there is a future where we can really trust AI, where we can hand off like, hey, every time I have an intro call with a potential client, send them a thank you note and grab the transcript of the call.
Yep.
And like find a place where I was praising their business in the transcript of the call and find a way to work that into the thank you note, right?
Yeah. So there is softwares out there that kind of do something like that right now for like Zoom calls. There's fireflies.ai. You can actually like record your entire Zoom call, and then it takes notes and it creates action reports, and it tells, literally gives you a nice email breakdown of the entire Zoom call. And I can see an integration with AI where it does the exact same thing as long as you're making calls through some type of like VoIP system, voice over internet protocol, where it will take notes and it can create action for customer service, right? There's a lot of customer service tools out there that handle complaints. And I think that this would be a really good use case is for complaints. When somebody sends you that customer support email or that chat bubble, you can trigger sending an apology. Hey, thank you for this. This is how we're fixing it. We're apologizing. So I think the use cases are limitless, what technology can do as long as it can be integrated. And there needs to be some improvements. I use ChatGPT every day, and there are sometimes I'm like, and I don't, I used it the other day and I was like, was that a spelling error? Like, I don't know, like it just didn't read right, or grammatical error. So we're still in the infancy stages, but that's what we got to think about is how our technology is going to work together. What systems are out there that allows you to integrate and automate technologies together, and how can you leverage these platforms together? So and I think our technology integrates into those as long as they're open. We do it through APIs, like I said earlier, Zapier, Integrately, Make, or Integromat.
Yeah. So like if I have a Zapier account, like it's super easy for me to, somebody books a call. and I'm trying to like set up the Zap in my head or whatever. Somebody books a call, or a calendar event happens with a specific type of call, then it can follow up with that person afterwards, as long as it has the data there, using whatever I determine is the content. So that's super cool. So in an ideal world, everybody who values their relationships with their clients and customers is going to use thank you notes in the future. And it's going to become the norm, and they can use AI to help them write those thank you notes. How do you think this impacts businesses, customer relationships, and all?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think handwritten notes are going to make a massive comeback with vengeance. It's just people and businesses are looking for tools that are different, and that are creating the most value with the least amount of effort. I think this space is going to get incredibly crowded in the next 3 to 5 years. And just like anything, like we were talking about earlier, it ebbs and flows, it goes in and out of style. Handwritten notes got out of style just because they had a lot of effort and people got lazy. And now there's technologies, that we've created that allows us to scale it and automate it. But I think, in the next 3 to 5 years, before this gets really incredibly crowded, you're going to see the most impact because, people don't know that handwritten notes can be automated or written by robots. It's just, they don't know that yet. And then they're going to know that because the market's going to get so saturated. So I believe in the next 3 to 5 years, this is the time to jump on it and capitalize on this type of relationship building tool before people just become so numb to everything. They're already numb to digital. Now they're going to be numb to AI, and then they're going to be numb to their mailboxes, right? So I just think, with anything, you got to jump on early before everybody else does, to where you're going to see the most impact.
Yeah. And arguably, like, as much as like I've followed the AI world, and as much as people are afraid of like AI taking over all of that, there is always going to be a gap, at least I believe, for human experiences, right? And the idea of a note showing up in the mailbox that is written with a pen on paper, that's one of those human experiences that's going to continue to have impact no matter what we can do with technology, right? And so I think that this is a really cool tool that that folks should at least check out and see what it might be able to do for their business and how they might be able to integrate it into their marketing and sales strategy. So the website, like if folks want to learn more, the website is SimplyNoted.com, fairly straightforward, right? And as of today, there's this fun little illustration on the front page of the website of robots writing and sliding the card into the envelope and stamping it and all of that. And I think it's a very fun website to look at too. If folks go there, they can request a sample kit, and you also have another offer for them. Can you explain what's in the sample kit? What's that?
Yeah. So if you go to our homepage, it's on SimplyNoted.com, in the top right-hand corner, you'll see request a sample. We prefer to send you a really nice sample kit before you even get started, because once you receive it, like that's like when you open this and everybody loves it. You get really excited. You're like, oh, I thought these were going to be printed. They're actually pen written. We send you all the information that 99.5% of people ask: pricing, case studies, flyers, samples, handwriting styles, capabilities, what we do, what we don't do, frequently asked questions. We put a lot of time and effort into the sample kit, just to get you all the information before you even send one card. If you want to send one card, well, every client can send their first card for free. You just go to the website, you create your account, and then when you're checking out, just use the promo code 1 capital FREE. So it's just 1 in all caps FREE. But we send out dozens of these sample kits every single day, and we always get really good feedback. And what happens is when they receive it, is they call us and they tell us how they want to use it, and then it's more of like a consultative-based type of approach. So they're like, "Hey, this is our company. This is the software we use. This is what we want to do." We're like, "Great. This is how we can do it. We're going to use this software, set up this cadence and set up this integration, and then it's going to be automated for you." Or they're like, "Hey, we have these, list of clients who haven't worked with us in 12 months, we want to re-engage them. So they'll send us a list or like, hey, it's the holidays, or we want to automate birthday cards, it's all the ideas come to us from them. It's just once it gets in their hands, the idea happens, and then they contact and we help them do it.
Yeah. So many different ideas and opportunities kind of stirring in my creative marketer brain right now. So I'll make sure to include the notes in the description I'll make sure to include the links in the description to SimplyNoted.com and information like with the discount code spelled out so people can see it on the page. It's the number 1 and then all caps FREE. So check out the links in the description to learn more. Rick, thank you so much for being on, sharing the technology, sharing the power of handwritten thank you notes, and connecting with people that way. Thanks for being on Breakthrough Marketing Secrets.
Thanks for allowing me to be here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And to everyone who's listened or watched through this episode, thank you as well. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you again in the next episode. See you soon. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.